So My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was kind of a big deal. I know I'm not breaking any new ground with this bold, shocking statement, but the 2010 series was hugely popular and it sold a lot of toys. And I mean like a lot of toys. With the show dominating pop and internet culture during the 2010s and the fandom developing into a huge global phenomenon, the demand for toys and merchandise shot through the roof. To keep up with the demand from fans both young and old, tons of merchandise was designed, produced, and churned out en masse, resulting in millions of sales and what I'm assuming to be billions and trillions of dollars. But I've never been good at math, so, you know. With so many products flying off the shelves, it was inevitable that there would be a few duds and more than a few bootlegs. Whether licensed or very much unlicensed, manufacturers of all kinds have tried their luck at pony production, and a few have stood out as shining examples of absolutely awful merchandise. Today we'll cover it all as we delve into the murky waters of My Little Pony merchandise to find the worst of the worst. I want to give a huge shout out to the channel Polygon Donut for inspiring this video with their cursed merchandise series. Their videos were awesome and they inspired me to want to research cursed merchandise from one of my own favourite franchises, so credit to them for the awesome idea, and please do go check out their channel. Anyway, get ready because we're about to dive into the worst cursed pony merch. While there aren't quite as many officially licensed stinkers as there are in the world of bootleg and knockoff merchandise, they more than make up for it with the fact that Hasbro signed off on these. All of these went through several rounds of designs and quality control and were approved to be sold as licensed products, which just makes you ask, how? Well, let's take a look and find out. We'll be going through these as a list, and while some are definitely worse than others, they're in no particular order. Number 1. Plushes. Alongside figurines, soft toys were one of the most popular types of My Little Pony merchandise, and that makes sense. They're easily mass-produced, they're fun to collect, kids love to hug them, bronies love to do other things with them. Despite this, it's a pretty well-known fact within the brony community that most of the officially licensed plushes are kinda trash. For example, the Twilight Sparkle Cuddle plush released by Baby Boom. Desaturated and greyish, bulbous in all the wrong places, and with this sort of wet noodle-esque ribbon/tassel style hair that is extremely common in the official plushes for some reason. To be fair, this one gets a pass because it was made by a company that literally makes baby toys, though on the other hand I can't imagine any baby feeling soothed by this giant haunted ventriloquist style Twilight looming over them. Baby Boom actually later came out with some really nice and accurate Pinkie Pie and Twilight plushes, so I have no idea what went wrong here. FAB Starpoint, a company which as far as I can tell isn't operating anymore, released several My Little Pony lines. Some mini keychains, some bags, and these two. Not only are the colours off, with Rainbow Dash just straight up having the wrong eye colour, blue instead of pink, but these are the squarest plushies that I have ever seen. Chad Valley is a hilariously named company which produced only 2 plushes, a Pinkie Pie and a Twilight Sparkle with uncomfortably human looking bodies. Again, note the return of the thin, flat tassel style hair that makes Pinkie look like she has poorly styled scene bangs. It's hilarious to me that Chad Valley thought, you know what, this is our peak, it's not gonna get any better than this, and they just never made any other merch. What can I say, when you've got it, you've got it. Funrise is an extremely prolific manufacturer in the My Little Pony merch canon. They have over 100 plush releases of various main and side characters in tons of different styles, most of which involve extremely thinned out hair and strange proportions. The 3-inch Pinkie Pie and Twilight Sparkle keychains have these permanent just heard you say something inappropriate at a party expressions going on. Rainbow Dash and Trixie's hair is just ridiculous hair, even by Funrise standards. And then there's Shining Armor in all his giant bobble-headed glory, truly regal. Another very prolific manufacturer is of course TY, one of the most successful and renowned toy manufacturers out there. Most of their plushes are pretty inoffensive with the exception of this extremely long squished rarity who's like the living embodiment of this emoji. But my favourite of their plushes are their mini 4-inch keychain plush line. These faces are the most goofy things I've ever seen, but they're also so bad that they loop right back around to being kinda cute. Also, they gave Fluttershy this comical single sprout of hair, which she's totally rocking. But it wouldn't be a cursed merch video if we didn't bring up manufacturer Franco and their Pillow Buddy range. It's the line that spawned this incredible and unbelievably official Twilight plush. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, so what can I even say here that hasn't already been said? She's got a punk haircut, a suspicious side eye, a hunched posture that rivals mine after I've been sitting at my desk for like 10 hours, and she has no mouth, and she must scream. Fun fact, they also made a Rainbow Dash that looks like she ate a lemon. Intech is a manufacturer that I actually haven't heard many people talk about at all, which is really strange to me because their plushes are bonkers. Their first range was a selection of giant realistically shaped horsehead plushies, which leads me to believe they agreed to do MLP merch without knowing how to manufacture pony heads in a show accurate way. I'm sure these plushes never get tired of why the long face jokes. They also released a series of slightly more realistic but still pretty baffling plushies with some really odd design choices. Twilight is this off-color dark purple with a horn half the size of her body, Rarity has long straggly hair, and Rainbow Dash is rocking the giant spiky Goku haircut. This Pinkie Pie plush by Just Play looks like she has a slab of raw meat for hair. Paladone came out with this Pinkie Pie plush that looks like a dinosaur pony hybrid made out of ham, and hilariously this was the only plush they ever released for My Little Pony. I guess they figured that you can't improve on perfection. The manufacturer Plush Apple released a bunch of 8-inch light-up toys that suffer from a severe case of missing snout syndrome, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, Multi-Pulties plushes suffer from too much snout syndrome, with Applejack looking shocked and appalled, Shining Armor looking like he's had one too many at the function, and Celestia looking like she's concocting dastardly and devious schemes. Toy Factory's range of 8 and 12-inch sitting plushes have some very unfortunate face designs, especially Pinkie. And last but certainly not least, the legends themselves, Hasbro. Their plushies are definitely on the cheaper end of the production scale, usually falling back on stiff 2D cardboard hair, poorly defined head and body shapes, and some fairly questionable expressions. I have no idea what this expression is meant to be, but I feel deeply unsettled by it. But for the most part, Hasbro plushes are pretty mediocre at best. They tend to do better when the toys are highly stylized. For example, their chibi clip and go keychains are super charming, and their range of bobblehead plushes are a pretty good example of extremely squashed and stretched proportions that are still done well. There are a few standouts though, and not in a good way. Their jumbo plush toys are rocking spiky mullets and don't look too happy about it. These creepy long-bodied huggable plushies really rub me the wrong way, and a lot of their mainline toys have their mouths sewn in this way that gives them a permanent, deeply uncomfortable but trying to be polite about it look. So with how many questionable plushes have been signed, sealed, and sent to store shelves, bronies have naturally come to ask, why? A common theory is that it's because of the stylization of the show. Lauren Faust's art style is very sharp, expressive, and really pushes those strong shapes and outlines. It's a distinctly 2D style that some fans have suggested simply doesn't translate into 3D toys and plushes. But personally, I disagree. While I agree that it's near impossible to exactly capture Lauren Faust's dynamic style one-to-one in a 3D medium, there are plenty of plushes that look fantastic. Fourth Dimension is, in my opinion, the best licensed MLP plush manufacturer, capturing the pony's proportions perfectly in a stylish, show-accurate manner with lots of neat little details. Not to mention fan-made plushies. The general consensus within the fandom is if you want a high-quality plush, commission or buy from a brony plush maker rather than a licensed manufacturer. As you can see from these images, fan-made plush tend to be highly show-accurate with very sturdy, well-shaped proportions, luscious, vivid colors, intricate stitching and embroidery, and even posable limbs and eyes. I understand why the licensed toys aren't up to these high standards. Obviously, when you're mass producing, you don't have the budget for highly detailed and sculpted toys. But the point is, appealing, show-accurate plushes can be done, just not by Hasbro. Moving on from the world of plushes. Number 2, Interactive Twilight Sparkle. Released as part of the merchandise campaign for My Little Pony the movie, this large robotic Twilight Sparkle is your standard moves and lights up and talks interactive toy. I don't know whether it's her slightly saggy skin or the fact that her face looks like it's kind of in pain, but this toy gives me major Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. It looks like someone wearing Twilight skin as a suit, which makes it all the more creepy that it moves and blinks. Ugh. Number 3, Funko's 2013 Cupcake Keepsakes. I feel very conflicted about Funko merchandise. First, they win me over with their incredible My Little Pony vinyl figures, and then they let me down with their dead-eyed Funko Pops. Then they get me hooked back in with their cool limited edition Hikari Rainbow Dash figurines, and then they release my emojis, which really need no further comment. And then there are Cupcake Keepsakes, which are just these incredibly strange figurines of the characters with giant cupcake-shaped heads displayed in a glass jar. The quality is obviously pretty high, it is Funko after all, but they're just not really that cute or appealing in any way. If anything, they're just weird. And don't even get me started on the jar thing. Some things are best left unsaid. Number 4, Biblically Accurate Rainbow Dash. This art statue, designed by artist Richard Cavolo for the pop culture figurine website Mighty Jaxx in December of 2022 isn't bad or poorly made by any means, but it is pretty weird, so it's going on the list. Mighty Jaxx produce a ton of great My Little Pony figurines, including the X-Ray and Crystal Friend series, both of which have super unique concepts and art styles, and this figurine is no different. Depicting a slightly more realistically proportioned Rainbow Dash with 4 eyes, a large cascading rainbow tail, and fire explosions surrounding her, it's one of the most artistically bold and honestly brilliant pieces of merch made for the brand. As of the posting of this video, it's actually still available to purchase if you want this creepy angelic Rainbow Dash in your home. Hashtag not sponsored. Number 5. My Little Pony Rads. So if you aren't aware, Rads are essentially modern day Pez dispensers. They're round plastic figurines which dispense candy when you pull their hair. With their tufty Goku hair and maniacal grins, I'll take Pez over these any day. Honestly, these look unhinged. Number 6. All of the Alicorn Twilight baby toys. If you know me, you know that I'm a huge nerd about My Little Pony lore, and I hate to be that guy, but Twilight Sparkle wasn't born in Alicorn, she was made into one. So the fact that there are multiple baby Alicorn Twilight Sparkle merch releases bugs me to no end. The Interactive Babies range, which was already on thin ice with these bug-eyed duck-faced baby designs, depicts Twilight not only as a baby Alicorn, but a baby Alicorn princess with a giant crown. The Baby Main 6 figurine pack, which admittedly is pretty cute, also depicts Twilight with huge wings and a crown. I know that they made Twilight into an Alicorn to sell more toys, so this does make sense, but I can't resist the urge to do the whole actually thing to these toys whenever I see them. Number 7. Silly Looks, Pinkie Pie, and Rainbow Dash. True to the name, the gimmick of these figurines is that they can pull silly expressions, and that's a cute concept, but dear god, something went terribly wrong along the way. Perhaps Deranged Looks might be a better title for this line. Ding 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 ding, what's that sound? It sounds like it's time for a wildcard round, and the topic is Princess Celestia toys. Even though Princess Celestia was a key character in the show, featuring pretty heavily in multiple episodes, and Hasbro were constantly pushing for more Alicorn toys on store shelves, they consistently did her dirty in merch releases. For some reason, manufacturers consistently just could not get her colors right, even when her official render with her official colors was slapped right there on the box art itself. The brushable talking pony princess doll from 2010 was pink with bright purple accents, the 2010 collector set toy was pink with blue hair, the Royal Castle Friend set from 2011 coloured her pink again, the 2012 fashion style brushable was pale pink with teal hair and bright purple accents, she had a similar colour scheme in the Crystal Princess Ponies collection and the Tea Time brushable set, she was pink in multiple dedicated Celestia and Luna 2 packs, and last but not least she was pink and teal in her McDonald's Happy Meal toy. Multi-Polty also produced a pink Celestia plush. Her toys also often had strange proportions and body molds. One of Celestia's most striking features is her tall, slim stature, which gives her a more mature and commanding look, perfect for her role as a princess. And a lot of her toys do have that larger, leaner mold to reflect that, but weirdly several don't. She's depicted way too often with a regular short pony body, and it never looks right. She's also given Princess Cadence's body in multiple blind bag releases, but to be fair, the blind bags are such a rabbit hole that I want to make a whole separate video just about them. TLDR is that wacky molds are extremely common in the world of blind bags, so this is kind of par for the course. But all of that leads back to one simple question, and that's specifically, why Celestia? Again, Celestia's official renders are often right there on the box with her official colours. White coat, gold accessories, pink eyes, and a multicoloured green, pink, and teal mane. So why on earth is she so frequently sold with a completely different colour scheme? There are of course many other toys of many other characters that get the colours incorrect or slightly off, but never as consistently and frequently as Celestia. One of the primary theories is that Hasbro thought that a pink Alicorn princess toy would sell well with their demographic of young girls, so changed her toy colours to be more quote-unquote girly. This may have been the reason that they later released Princess Cadence, a pink Alicorn princess that had a huge merch campaign of her own. Personally, I think that this theory checks out, especially as most of the pink Celestia toys were released before A Canterlot Wedding, the episode that introduced Cadence. However, there still are a few incorrectly coloured Celestias produced after Cadence was introduced, and even one set where they're packaged together, so we can't rule out some sort of internal production issue. Maybe an early colour sheet was given to the toy producers and it was cheaper to produce her with slightly off colours than reproduce them all. Ultimately we can only speculate, but honestly it sucks that Celestia so often got the short end of the straw with her merch releases considering how cool her design was. Number 8. Pony Mania. Similar to the Richard Cavolo angelic Rainbow Dash statue, this isn't necessarily bad or poorly produced, just really weird. In 2014, Hasbro came out with a Toys R Us exclusive 6-pack of brushables called Pony Mania with a distinctly gothic theme. Fluttershy has black and pink hair, gothic butterfly eye makeup, and a heart choker. Pinkie Pie has a black cutie mark, black streaks, and gothic lace-up boots. Celestia has black and pink lace stockings and goth eye makeup, ironically one of her more show-accurate toys. Rainbow Dash has a black choker and pink eye makeup. Rarity has a striped horn and black streaks. And Twilight has a choker, striped black and pink socks, and black sparkle decals. This set is essentially the physical embodiment of this meme. Also, I find it hilarious that Applejack wasn't included in this set. I'm dying to see what kind of chic country girl goth look they would have given her. Number 9. Busy Book Spike. The My Little Pony Busy Book, released in 2013, is a sort of activity/playbook for kids that includes a bunch of minifigurines. Naturally, they're a bit lower quality than the mainline minifigures, but they still look pretty good. All of them, that is, except Spike. Spike looks like he's seen some shit, and no, he doesn't want to talk about it. Number 10. The Equestria Girls dolls. Equestria Girls, known as EQG, was a spin-off movie series and subsequent web series created in 2013, which saw the main 6 travel into the human world and take on human forms. The spin-off was hugely contentious within the fandom, with many accusing it of being a soulless cash grab meant to sell dolls. And however you personally feel about it, that is true to an extent. At its core, it was a strategic move to open up a new avenue of merchandising, namely human dress-up dolls a la Barbie and Monster High. Even those within the fandom that absolutely hated the idea thought that maybe they'd at least get some cool dolls out of the deal. That is, until they dropped and looked like this. Yeah, bronies were not happy, and looking at the quality of these dolls, it's clear to see why. The first wave of dolls was extremely cheap, with molded clothes, cheaply painted accessories, no articulation, and of course these weird generic fashion doll faces with heavy makeup. They looked nothing like the Equestria Girls characters, instead looking like some cheap knockoff brand with very low production value. Later releases would see the dolls getting articulated joints, actual clothes, and slightly improved hair colors and styling, but they still look strangely off-brand, and let's be real, the clothes weren't exactly on the cutting edge of fashion at the time either. As more movies came out, they continued to release dolls in tandem, and over time the designs did change in subtle ways. Some felt that they began to improve, but a lot of them still had very strange proportions and unappealing faces, especially the lower budget side character dolls. Come on. Be real here. In 2017, they tried to reboot Equestria Girls with a new doll line, this time taking on a more realistic, toned-down appearance. To give them credit, this line looks a lot less cheap and plasticky, and some of the outfits and hairstyles actually look like they had some thought put into them. Some might even say they were pretty cute, dare I say. But again, they didn't seem to be able to nail the look, with the dolls veering a little too heavily into the uncanny valley with those kinda weird, realistic faces. Despite my, and a lot of the fanbase's, criticisms over the years, the dolls clearly sold well considering how long they were running for and how many different releases they got. However, I can't help but think that humanoid My Little Pony dolls could have been so cool as a concept and could have taken off in a much bigger way if they had been done right. Let the fun begin, it's bootleg merchandise time! Pretty much any popular global franchise that is enjoyed by children is going to get an inordinate amount of bootleg merchandise. Go to any $2 shop and you'll find Among Us keychains and plushies, Frozen school bags, Paw Patrol and Minions coloring books, and more, all written with spelling errors and very much unlicensed. My Little Pony was no different, and over the years bronies have made it their solemn duty to collect and archive as many ridiculous, silly, and wacky unlicensed merch items as possible. And now, like the scholars we are, it's time to bravely dig through the archives and find the weirdest and wildest bootlegs out there. Number 1. The Twilight water bottle / thermos. One of the most infamous pieces of terrible MLP merch, this Lovecraftian horror of a water bottle is fashioned to look like Twilight Sparkle. A very long, human-legged Twilight Sparkle, that is. The lid of the bottle is a plastic sculpt of her head, which looks distinctly unimpressed and or half asleep, and the bottle itself has weird, spindly fold-out legs so you can make her stand there, staring at you disapprovingly from your bedside table. This item is constantly circulating throughout the fandom as a meme and is often posted on Twitter to the point where I and many others actually thought that it was a licensed item. It wasn't until I began researching for this video that I discovered that it was an off-brand item posted on Amazon by a company called You Findings, which doesn't look particularly official to me. Also, fun fact, there are actually multiple cursed pony thermoses. Though Twilight is the most commonly shared, there's also a creepy winking Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie. Let that lull you to sleep. Number 2, bootleg sticker books. These are extremely common and come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, but I'm going to show you one from my personal collection. Simply titled Stickers, this sticker book promises that it's 100% fascinating, which is a pretty big claim. It also claims to divide 100%, a far more ominous warning. A lot of the art in here uses stolen official renders, backgrounds from the show, and straight up screenshots, which is pretty par for the course, but some stand out as being a lot weirder. Like this hyper-realistic piece of Cadence fan art, or this fan art of the main six as Monster High characters. Whoever put this sticker book together really loved Rainbow Dash. There are tons of RD stickers, including ones of her as a filly. There's some Rainbow Dash X Derpy fan art, an image taken from the comic books, and a sticker of the ponies on top of the Windows XP Bliss image, which was so amazingly cursed in the best way that I stuck it right on my PC. And then there's the creme de la creme of this entire sticker book, this image. Yes, a sticker of the main six, plus Trixie and Octavia for some reason, using that weird sexy wet mane render that was everywhere on DeviantArt during the height of the fandom. This image is truly cursed, and now whenever anything bad happens to me, I blame it on the fact that this is in my house emanating evil energies. Number 3, psychedelic pony pants. I would say that these are like a crime against humanity or whatever, but I don't know, that hideous green and red Applejack is actually kind of cool in my opinion, and let's be real, this is totally the kind of thing that I would wear. Number 4, Alicorn main 6 toys. I've talked pretty extensively about how as a kid I was extremely jealous of Twilight Sparkle becoming an Alicorn princess and wished more than anything that they would turn the rest of the main 6 into Alicorns, because I just thought that it was so unfair that only she got to have cool giant wings and magic powers. Well, I guess these bootleg merchandises felt the exact same way and bestowed upon the fandom copious Alicorn main 6 toys. And I'm not even exaggerating, for some unknown reason Alicorn main 6 brushables and toys tend to be some of the most common bootlegs that you'll find out there. Like this Alicorn Rainbow Dash with suitably awesome big wings. But I can't lie, the bootleg brand Fun Lovely Horse takes the cake when it comes to Alicorn fakies. Sure, the logo looks like word art and has a hyper-realistic Alicorn rarity as the mascot, and sure, the box is comprised 90% of poorly painted blind bag fakes, but just look at these brushable Alicorn toys. Again, these look way more accurate and detailed than most of the official toys, having tons of cool little details like sparkly wings, horns, and face decals. There are multiple versions of my favorite pony, Princess Luna, including Nightmare Moon, a pastel lavender and rainbow mane version of Luna, and a gorgeous sparkly dark purple version, probably the most show accurate of the lot. There's a fantastic Princess Celestia, which makes me wonder how a bootleg line called Fun Lovely Horse made a better quality Celestia than 90% of the official Hasbro toys. You have this super cool Queen Chrysalis with these vibrant stark colors and intricately painted wings, and then of course you have the main 6 looking extremely regal in all of their Alicorn glory. I'm actually pretty sad that these are fakies and not official toys, since bootlegs are much harder to find and buy, and I'd love to have a set of Alicorn main 6 toys so my shattered childhood dream can finally be fulfilled. Number 5, long plushes. I honestly don't even know what to say about these that won't violate YouTube's guidelines. I'm gonna charitably assume these are meant to be like door stoppers or something, but they just don't look right. Number 6, Funko fakies. From beloved brand Fun Lovely Pony, not to be confused with Fun Lovely Horse, come these Funko Pop bootlegs. Funko Pops are kind of already the bane of a lot of collectors' existence, with their giant bobbleheads and dead soulless eyes, and the fact that they are literally inescapable in today's pop culture climate. But these figures take it to a whole other level with brushable manes and realistic eyes, which are somehow worse than the default Funko Pop eyes. Here we see the return of the Alicorn main 6 figurine with this completely bald, cross-eyed Alicorn Pinkie Pie. The most curious thing about these bootlegs is that they actually light up and glow, which honestly makes them cooler than 90% of the original Funkos despite their extremely cursed appearance. Number 7, these awful Equestria Girls minis. A mutant cross between Polly Pocket and Equestria Girls, these toys are truly the worst of both worlds, and the box's invitation to come and collect them all couldn't sound less appealing. Rarity is wearing Twilight's outfit, Rainbow Dash is wearing Pinkie Pie's outfit, and Twilight is wearing Rainbow Dash's outfit, but that's the least of our concerns here. Applejack's feet are completely backwards, Twilight is about a head shorter than the rest of the characters, and Pinkie Pie is MIA, which in this case is actually probably for the best. Number 8. Blind bags. Let's take a break from peeping the horror for a second to take a look at some bootlegs that I actually think are pretty cool. As an avid collector myself, I have a ton of the My Little Pony mini blind bag figurines, and a lot of them, especially the earlier waves, could be very predictable. They all use the same molds, they're all for the most part show accurate, and they tend to use and reuse the same color palettes pretty often. Not so with bootlegs though. With fakies you get all kinds of crazy mold and color combos, show accuracy be damned. Some of my favorites include this pink and bright red recolor of Fleetfoot from the Wonderbolts, this Twilight Sparkle with stark black and vibrant purple coloring reminiscent of Nightmare Moon. There are also Nightmare Moon recolors of Nurse Redheart and Mr. Cake of all characters in case you wanted to do some hashtag edgy, hashtag dark roleplays with them. This set of pigtailed ponies with silly hats is pretty adorable, and then you have this very interesting set of fakies that come in heart-shaped egg capsules using some pretty rare molds. There's an Apple Bloom recolor, a Cadence imposter whose colors are reminiscent of Firefly, a Pegasus pony from Generation 1, and my personal favorite, this really cool white and pink Spike with purple eyes. Kinda makes me wish that we got more dragon variations in the show and in merchandise. It could have been really cool. Number 8.5, this rarity plush. Okay, so this isn't technically a full entry, but I had to add it because I saw a bunch of AliExpress ads for it, and I was like fully convinced that this was a ponified version of the Pokemon Chikorita with like the little snout and the massive leaf head. I literally had this on my list of merchandise to look into for this video under the assumption that it was some kind of mutant rarity Pokemon toy for like a whole week before I finally realized it's just a regular rarity plush toy, and the hair is meant to be flat and bendy so you can curl it into shape like this, which is actually pretty genius, but it still makes me laugh because this 100% looks like Chikorita. You can't convince me that I'm wrong. Number 9, all of the hilarious My Little Pony knockoff logos. To subtly and tastefully hide the fact that their products aren't necessarily exactly 100% licensed per se, a lot of brands will change up their logo and brand name to throw pesky old Hasbro off the scent. Let us take a moment to celebrate these incredible off-brands and their wonderful names. Romantic Mary, Friendship is Magic, My Little Loney, My Little Horse, My Little Nonny, My Lovely Peony, My Happy Playhouse, My Lovely Horse, My Lovely Horses, My Funny Horse, My Happy Horse, Horse Playset. They really just cut to the chase with that one, huh? My Little Horse, Fantastic Toys, My Buddy Pony, My Sweet Girl, My Pony, Nun Sitterly Panopi, My Magic Piano Dresser Girl, Magic Lovely Pony, My Happy Baby, Fashion Happy Girl, Pretty Horse, Wonderful Magic, Horse Lovely the, My Sweet Pony. Fun fact, this My Sweet Pony set includes a drink explicitly labeled as beer. Fun Lovely Pony, My Lovely Unicorn, My Lively Horse, oh sorry, should I say My Lively Horse, Set Funny Pony, My Fun Hose, My Little Pegasus, Fun Nitty Lovely, My Small Pony, My Lovely Mary, My Little Poey, My Little Poey. I can't make that up. And finally, number 10, Terrified Ponies. For some reason there are multiple My Little Pony knockoff toys that portray what I can only describe as abject terror. This set from The Funny Horse includes 2 shell-shocked ponies with uncomfortably huge eyes staring at each other as if they've done something terrible. Stop looking at me with them big old eyes. This extremely cheap and poorly produced Equestria Girls mini from My Lovely Horse Happy Time is your stock standard fake toy, but for some reason includes this render on the packaging. Why would they pick this one specifically? Why does Twilight look so upset? I can only guess that as a lawmaker in Equestria, she's shaking her head in dismay at the fact that you've brought an unlicensed toy. She's not mad, she's just really disappointed. And of course, how could I forget Fashion Horse? I don't even know what to say about these poor creatures. Was this some kind of manufacturing error where they were meant to have happy eyes and a wide smiling mouth, but it just accidentally came out as a terrified grimace? Or did they genuinely think that kids would enjoy playing with a set where the ponies look like they're begging for a swift end? The tonal dissonance between this and the jovial tagline is really something as well. What it really should say is, hello, come and help us. It's not even just this set. this other pack by Fun Lovely Horse also has a terrified crying pony alongside some other very unfortunate looking specimens, which leads me to believe that it wasn't a mistake but a widely used mold and face design. And you know what, I respect it. It's a terrible choice, but it's a deliberate one. And now this is a thing that exists. Let's take a moment to bask in its glory. As much as I like to clown on all of these terrible merch releases, honestly I have a huge soft spot for them. They're so funny and silly and sometimes unexpectedly good in a weird, unconventional way that it's hard not to enjoy them. Whether they're questionable because they were signed off by the brand themselves despite their bizarre designs, or because they're completely unlicensed and off the wall, there's a silver lining to every bad piece of merch, even if that silver lining is that they're a little bit funny. If you guys have any of the pieces of merch that were mentioned in this video, or there are some that I missed out that are so terrible that just need to be known by the world, please do share. Like I said, I have a huge soft spot for this topic. I absolutely love looking at cursed merchandise, so please do share, add your contribution in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys really enjoyed that topic. Again, thank you so much to Polygon Donut for inspiring this video. Definitely go check their videos out, and thank you to you guys for watching it. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! A huge thank you to my Garfield overlords over on Patreon. Hazy, Oliver Brains, Caramel Coffee Bean, Blue Mayfeld, Katrina Likes 5e Stuff, Fitzy, Michelle Olsen, Strawberries, Matt LRJ, a riddle wrapped in an enigma hidden by a question mark, SHSL Sun, Doug, Dana Homegardener, Charlie B, Simon, Ren Pendragon, Xavier Araujo, Helm Hamburger Hand, Dozo Blint, Sheriff Whiskey, The Furby Librarian, Jesse Chisholm, Fish000, Grip Gunderson, and Joe Bradshaw. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. It means the world to me. If you want to join these guys over on Patreon, the link will be in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video and supporting me, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye!